You mentioned Julie Garwood. Are there any romance authors or romance books that you really drew inspiration from when you were thinking about this particular story? Or if maybe not for The Taste of Light, but for book one, where you had that couple in your head? Was there any story that you were like, oh, it's like this story?
Yes, I think I don't know if there is a single source of inspiration, but I always loved Lisa Kleypas and Tessa Dare and Quinn. It was like this muses for me.
Yeah.
And I also think that when I started writing, had this whole bunch of cliches in my mind. So the first draft of that the first book was like filled of cliches, and because of I think that we consume so much of the same tropes, the same characters from historical romances, that when you just begin writing, they are kind of all that you can think about, and they find their way into your first draft. But then I make this a decision to stop reading historical romance while I'm writing, because I think it is very easy to be influenced by other novels and other styles. So I try to keep, whenever I first think about an idea for a scene, for a character, I try to stop and think, have I read this somewhere? Is this really an original? Is this something that I can say, oh, I came up with this, or this is something that I read somewhere? So then nowadays I think I'm more, I kind of detox myself from all this influence, because I try to read other genres to kind of make my writing more fresh. But this is me. I know that this is not everyone, but it's just that I don't know. I feel that I cannot. I am very influenced by what I read. I feel like I am like this garden, and my mind is a garden, and whatever I plant, whatever I'm reading is like these seeds, and then what I write is the crops. So if I read historical romance, I will be only recycling what I'm reading, and I think it's not worth it. And so I try to read other stuff in order to be more creative. But
I think that's
I
a really, yeah, I think that's a really good insight that you had into your first draft, which was that you were pouring out all of the things that you had kind of been holding on to from decades of reading historical romance. And I think personally that the joy of historical romance is seeing those tropes that we love, but in the hands of an author who finds ways to add nuance
and
or use them to get to something that we haven't seen done before, or something
mm-hmm.
that feels very unique to that story and those characters.